What is up, everyone? Today is Tuesday, which means that it's time for another live Q&A. As always, I'm your host, Paul J Lipsky. I'm here to answer any questions you might have about dropshipping on different marketplaces like eBay and Facebook Marketplace. It's primarily what I talk about here on this channel. We are just wrapping up now Q4, which is, as you know, the busiest time of the year for any type of seller, especially online retail sellers, which is exactly what we do as dropshipping. So I'm a little tired. Okay, I always feel this way after Christmas. It's like I don't even realize how quickly I'm going, but it's a good feeling because that means we've done well and it was a great year overall. So we're done with Q4, we're moving into the new year, and this is a time when I like to start to reflect on what my goals are for the year and what it is that I want to get out of the year and in my life in general. So I'm pretty excited to kind of jump into 2023, and I think next week it will officially be 2023. So I think then I'll talk a little bit about goal setting and New Year's resolutions and some stuff that's been on my mind. I haven't quite gotten it all organized yet. There's certainly a lot of things on my mind going into the next year in terms of business, in terms of drop shipping, but also in terms of my personal life and some personal things that I want to accomplish next year, different ways I want to live my life, in different places I want to concentrate my attention. So I'm going to be talking about that next week. If you want to join me for that, make sure to subscribe, come to the live Q&As. I do them every Tuesday at 4 p.m. And you could jump to the live chat and ask any questions, and I'll do my best to answer them for you. But you can come next week prepared. Maybe we can talk about your resolutions as well. I love talking about that kind of stuff. So that will be next week. But for now, let's just get right into the normal content, which are the questions that you all asked of today. All right, Julie says, what do you think of the Informed Consumer Act that was passed on Christmas Eve? We'll have to provide our name, address, phone number, possibly our tax ID, social security number, everyone. To be honest, Julie, I didn't hear about this. I'm not sure why. Well, it could be why because around Christmas, I just kind of stopped paying attention to the news a bit, stopped paying attention to business for a short period of time, and just kind of concentrate on family and having a good time and eating some good food. But let's look up this Informed Consumer Act. Now, I do know that marketplaces like Amazon have started doing this. They started doing this a few years ago, where if you sold on Amazon in the past, you could do it kind of anonymously. You didn't have to put your name out there. You just had like a storefront name. They changed that a few years ago, and you go into any Amazon seller storefront, you'll see the name of the business. Now, that's not your personal name. That is the name of your business. So you can have an LLC and it could be there, or even possibly even a DBA. I'm not sure about that. And then you would have an address there. So a good thing that a lot of people have been doing is getting a business address to put there and a business phone number for free through something like Google Voice. So if it's something similar to that, then it's in a way not terrible. You know, you have an LLC, it'll be the LLC's name. You have a Google Voice number, it'll be that number. The address, if you don't want your address to be public, then you would have to get sort of like a virtual mailbox, which actually are not that expensive. They're about $10 or $11 a month. So it's not too bad. But let's see, that's what we start doing with Amazon. But let's see exactly what this Informed Consumer Act is. Let's see if there's anything, so I don't have to read the full article. Let's see. So I see something on MSN about it, but this was like a month ago. Oh, that's the Philippines. I'm in the wrong country there. Yeah, I'm not sure about this. I don't want to read the whole bill. I see the bill, but I don't want to read the whole thing. Let me try one more thing here, looking this up. And I know this is like a big concern for people because privacy and things like this, but there are ways to kind of use a business to kind of to hide who you are in a way, or to kind of prevent people from knowing exactly who you are. All right, I'm not seeing it off the top of my head or just with a quick search. I don't want to waste any more time. I'll look it up later, though. All right. Cred says, it is, well, first, what's up, Cred? Thanks for being here. Hope you had a happy holiday so far. Good to see you again. Is it crazy for me to consider doing both your Facebook Marketplace and eBay dropshipping courses simultaneously to expedite having eBay as solid backup when Facebook does weird stuff and glitches and stuff like that? I don't think that's crazy at all, Cred. The only time I would think that's crazy is if you're so busy with a job, other things going on in your life, that you can't even build up one of your stores, and let alone doing two of them. That is a problem. But if you have the time, or even if you think you have enough time, you'll be able to take all the skills that you're learning from both of them to kind of help each other out. I think it's a really good strategy. In general, it is a very, very smart idea to be on multiple marketplaces, multiple platforms. The three big ones I believe right now are eBay, Facebook Marketplace, and Amazon. And you should try, like if you really want to have like an e-commerce empire, so to speak, you should try to have a presence on all three of those platforms. Now, you don't have to do that right away. And the cool thing is with dropshipping, you can do that on eBay and Facebook Marketplace. I believe that most people can build those up at the same time, and they should try to do that so that they have more predictability. If one's not doing so well, then the other one will make up for it. So that's really a good place to be. I've seen plenty of people build up both at the same time and have been able to handle it. For Amazon, if you want to add that into the mix, I would do that later, only because it is a bit more difficult and it requires more upfront capital than drop shipping on like eBay or Facebook Marketplace. But then once you get to that point, I would look at doing what I'm currently doing on Amazon, which is a form of online arbitrage, which is eBay to Amazon online arbitrage, which I learned from my buddy Steve Rakin. Hey, what is up, Robert? Bob and Jen. How you guys doing? Oh, bummer. So they're trying to start their business. Looks like they're trying to form maybe an LLC. They tried to do it through their Secretary of State, but they've been backed up since October 26. Wow, that is crazy. That's a bummer. Some states aren't like that. Some states, you can just register online. It's like an automated system. There's no backup at all. So I'm not sure why Pennsylvania doesn't have their act together with that. Maybe it's all the snow that's been going on all over the country. Who knows? Or the holidays. But yeah, you can use a service, something like LegalZoom, I'm sure is just fine. Maybe they can find a way to expedite it. Haley says, what's your schedule every day and week? Like, what are your daily tasks? What takes up the most time? That's a good question, Haley. And it's something I've certainly been reflecting on as we're going into the new year, because I want to make sure that my time is well spent, and that I'm working on the high level tasks and not wasting my time on like the little things that don't really matter. So the cool thing is that I've been drop shipping. I started drop shipping, has it been like 6 or 7 years now? Let's see. So no, we're going on 6 years now. So I started a long time ago in terms of internet years. It's been a while. And throughout that time, I've been able to automate a lot with software and with virtual assistants. One of my goals this year was really to bring that to a new level. And I've been happy that I've been able to accomplish that. And a large part of that is because AutoDS, the software, has improved quite a bit in terms of their automation. I feel more comfortable using the software for automation, particularly with eBay. So we have AutoDS doing a lot in terms of running our store for us. That took a lot off, kind of the burners on the stove, and then I have virtual assistants filling in, doing pretty much all the rest. So there's still stuff that I need to be doing. I'm the one who's responsible for the stores. So I have to be checking in. I talk to my virtual assistants every day. I see what's going on. I, answer questions for them. So I'm always actively doing that stuff. But the cool thing is that it runs through the virtual assistants. So I don't really need to check in. They check in for me and give me the information that I need. And that saves me a lot of time because all I have to do is check WhatsApp and talk to them through there. So in terms of my days and weeks, so every day I wake up and I try not to look at my phone right away. That is hard on some days, but I try my best to do that. Usually what I do is I exercise first thing in the morning. I have a bike indoor trainer right here that I jump on and I ride for about an hour on my bike and exercise like that. And then I'll have some breakfast. And then after that, after I get ready and everything, I'll check in with my virtual assistants over WhatsApp and talk to them about what's going on. Usually just by talking with them, we're able to get everything done that needs to get done. I don't actually even have to log into my stores or anything. But many times I do have to go in and say, okay, this is what you had a question back about. Let me show you how to do that. Let me show you how to fix that. Even now, after them doing it for so long, there is a little bit of that. But that overall, honestly, it never takes me more than a half hour every day. And some days it's much less than that. It's like 10 minutes just to answer the questions and check in with them. So I do that. Included with that, I also check in with my virtual assistant who helps me with my students. So she is the community manager for the private Facebook group. Sorry, the private group is no longer a Facebook group. The private group that is just for the students inside my courses. So I check in with her. She also helps me with my emails and a lot of other stuff. She's usually here on the chats, helping me monitor the chats. So I check in with her and answer any questions with her. So that whole kind of process takes less than a half hour every single day. And I consider that stuff to really be the stuff that that like runs my business, or runs my businesses. The other part of that is 3 days a week, just 3 days a week. I'm trying to get better at this. I only check my emails 3 times a week. I have like 6 email inboxes I need to check because I have one for eBay, one for Amazon, one for my YouTube channel, one for my students, and there's a couple other ones for eBay and things like that. So there's like 6 email inboxes and I check them just 3 times a week is the goal. And again, that's something I want to get better at. I don't want to check those as often. But because my virtual assistant filters a lot and I have a lot of filters set up, again, that's part of that like half hour a day kind of thing. And I do that like 3 times a week. So I consider those things to be the things that kind of run the business. The businesses that I've already set up, that I've already put in the sweat equity for. When I started my eBay store, I spent a lot of time on it. When I started my Facebook store, I spent a lot of time on it. And now I don't have to as much because I have systems in place that are doing it. So that's that part of it. Then a large part of my day is usually spent on this YouTube channel and helping my students. So every week I plan out videos, I kind of write outlines for them, I brainstorm them, I'll sit down and write and doing that, and then I'll record the videos, each video can take up to 2 days of recording, depending on the video and how many times I have to redo stuff, and then send it over to my editor. So a large part of time is spent on that, and then I spend a lot of time answering students' questions, making improvements to the course. And then I also spend a lot of time on new projects as well, new things that I'm always trying out. So currently right now that is Amazon FBA. Although admittedly, I've taken a bit of a break for the holidays for that. I would like to get more back into that, but that will take a lot of time as well because again, I'm in that sweat equity phase where I have to put in the time and energy and brain power to actually start up this new business. That is new for me. Once I kind of get things rolling, then I can hire virtual assistants to help with that, maybe even hire someone locally to help me box up items, but that's going to come later. Now is a time when I have to do the work. So that's a lot of what my week looks like. I know it sounds kind of scattered, but every Sunday I sit down, kind of plan out my week, everything I'm going to do. Usually I do the most important stuff first, which is, I block out that half hour every day to run my businesses. And I always front load the week with my YouTube videos because I think that's the most important stuff to get these videos out there and to teach you guys and make updates to the course as well. And then later in the week is when I start kind of doing the new projects. So it's kind of all over the place. I know it's maybe not the most helpful answer to you because you're not making YouTube videos, but that's kind of the truth of what my weeks kind of look like in days. All right. Cored says, does your eBay course teach us how to use your Chrome extension helper for eBay dropshipping and also how to use Zeek Analytics for your eBay dropshipping course? So for those of you who don't know, I have two courses. One teaches you how to dropship onto eBay and the other teaches you how to dropship onto Facebook Marketplace. Cored's asking about the eBay course. So the eBay course, I do have a whole mini course within the course, I guess you could say. It's like a bunch of lessons on how to use Zeek Analytics, which is the product research software that we use. So yes, I teach you how to use Zeek Analytics inside the eBay course. The Chrome extension that we have called the Dropshipping Titans Marketplace Helper, that extension allows you to copy listings from Home Depot, Amazon, Walmart, and from AutoDS, and to paste them or create automatically with one click a listing on eBay or Facebook Marketplace. Now, I don't teach how to use that with eBay inside my eBay course because it's not necessary for eBay if you follow my method. If you follow my method, you'll be using AutoDS, which is an automation software for eBay dropshipping. And using that software, you can put the item into AutoDS and then AutoDS will automatically list the item for you. So you don't need my software, my Chrome extension to do it because AutoDS is already doing it for you. With Facebook Marketplace dropshipping, you will need it to do that the way that I teach, but not for eBay. Not for eBay. Okay. I don't get what auto fulfillment means, says Haley. Do you have to go and buy the item from the supplier or does the software do that for me and I just have to upload a tracking number? So whenever you get an order on eBay, let's use eBay in this example. If you get an order on eBay, there has to be something that then orders that item from your supplier, like maybe Walmart.com. Now there's two ways to do this. You get the order on eBay, then you just go onto Walmart and you order the item yourself. You add it to the cart, go through the checkout process. When it asks for the billing address, you use your billing address. And when it asks for the credit card, you use your credit card. But for the shipping address, you use your buyer shipping address. That way Walmart will ship the item directly to your customer. You can do that manually, or if you have AutoDS set up for eBay, it can actually automatically do that process for you. As soon as the order comes in on eBay, AutoDS will see that and automatically fulfill the order, automatically order the item from Walmart with the right shipping address, as long as you set up auto ordering in AutoDS. That only works with certain suppliers with AutoDS and eBay. And it unfortunately doesn't work for Facebook Marketplace. So for Facebook Marketplace, when you get an order, you do have to manually fulfill it yourself. What if you have thousands of orders? How will it take you to take care of the business, even though there are so many orders? So the good news is that you're not going to get thousands of orders right away. So I never like to worry too much, or I encourage you, I should say, not to worry too much about problems that don't exist or don't exist yet or don't exist for you yet. I'm very guilty of this myself. I worry about the future a lot and thinking, oh, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if this happens? What if that happens? But the truth is that most of the things that we worry about are never going to happen. Or when they do happen, you're equipped to handle them because you've had all the life experience getting to that point. And that's what's going to apply here. When you get to the point where you have thousands of orders a day, you'll have enough experience to be able to handle that. You're going to know, hey, for a lot of these orders, I can use AutoDS to automatically fulfill those orders. And in order to get to the point where you have thousands of orders a day, you're going to need a virtual assistant, at least one. The virtual assistant, you're not going to be able to scale to thousands of orders a day without a virtual assistant. So you're going to have the virtual assistant, and you're going to realize, hey, the virtual assistant can fulfill these orders, and then I can hire more to fulfill orders if they can't handle it by themselves. So that's what I kind of mean by you're going to figure it out as you go along. I'm obviously going to help you. These videos can help you. My course can help you. But a lot of it's going to make a lot more sense when you take action. Clarity comes through action. A lot of people get kind of this analysis paralysis where they kind of feel stuck, like, what should I do or how am I going to solve this? But taking action provides clarity on what to do. And also provides clarity on what problems are real and what problems aren't. So, and then a follow-up question to that, do you have to constantly be looking to see your orders, or so you have to order them right away, or how does that work? So when the orders come in, they don't need to be ordered right away. You don't have to be like waiting on your computer for the orders to come in. Generally, I encourage you once a day to fulfill the orders. So maybe set a time like 7 p.m. every night after you're done with school and work and all of that. Go to your computer, log into eBay, look at all your orders, and just fulfill all of them. And then that's it, and do the next thing 7 p.m. the next night. And that should be fine. Of course, if you have auto ordering set up through the software, then that's just going to be done automatically for you. All right. Thanks, guys. Bob and Jen said, oh, Haley asks a lot of great questions every week, but Bob and Jen say, if you have Paul's course, he gives you a step-by-step. Many, many, many answers are in there, and he explains in detail. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. Jasmine says, how do you use Track Taco? Track Taco, what the heck is this thing with the funny name, Track Taco? So when you're ordering items, or drop shipping items, I should say, from certain suppliers, and I'm talking primarily here about Walmart and Amazon, they will sometimes ship items to you with tracking numbers that you can't use on eBay, or no tracking number at all. Amazon has their own shipping company called Amazon Logistics. You see those blue vans driving around? That's Amazon delivering it to you, not UPS or FedEx. And Walmart will frequently deliver items to customers using DoorDash, which doesn't have any tracking numbers either, or other services as well now. So in that case, when you don't have a tracking number to upload into eBay, you can use a service like Track Taco to generate one of those tracking numbers. And all that is kind of like a placeholder. You put it in there, it scans as valid for eBay. So eBay thinks you're doing everything right, which you are. The customer gets their item, so they're happy and everything's fine, okay? So where it's not gonna work, just to give you a warning about this, is if you generate this tracking number and upload it and never order the item and never have an item shipped to the customer is going to complain, and they're going to get their money back because the tracking won't be delivered to the exact right address. It's, again, just kind of a placeholder. As long as you're shipping them the item, you should be fine uploading those tracking numbers, but that's how it works. It generates them for you. Ruben says, what's the best software tool to source for Facebook dropshipping? So I believe you're asking me about product research for Facebook Marketplace. So product research is kind of what we do to find the right items to sell. In other words, we're looking to see what are the items that we should list for sale on Facebook Marketplace. Because you don't want to list up just random items or just grab all the items from Walmart and list them up. That's a waste. That doesn't work. What you want to do is actually go see what items people are buying online now and then sell those same items. So I use a software called Zeek Analytics, and what Zeek Analytics does is it will actually scan eBay, and it's able to tell, based on the data, which items are being drop shipped and which of those drop shipped items are the most popular. So it can find you items that people are drop shipping and have drop shipped many times in the past month. If it's selling well on eBay, there's a really good chance it's also going to sell well on Facebook Marketplace. So it's a good starting place for product research. You can do the research on Zeek Analytics, which is eBay, but then use that to inform what it is that you're going to sell on Facebook Marketplace. And that's exactly how I started doing it. There are several other product research techniques that I teach inside my Facebook Marketplace course, but that is a good place to start, Ruben. Hey, what's up, Omar? Good to see you. George says, hey, Paul, do you still have your eBay dropshipping course? I want to start the new year with another dropshipping business. Yes, I do. You can get it at the link in the description. There should be a link to my eBay course, or you can just go to dropshippingtitans.com and you'll see it right there to join. Hey, what's up, JR? Happy says, do I have to use my own money to purchase items from the buyer? How do you receive the money from the buyer to purchase the item from the supplier for Facebook Marketplace? I'm going to take a screenshot of this. This has been the question of, where'd it go? This has been the question of the year, to be honest. I've gotten this question a lot in the past, but for some reason this past year, I've been getting this question more and more and more and more. People seem to be a little bit unsure of how this works. So, and the reason people ask this is obviously because they want to know if they can dropship with little to no startup money. So this is how it works. You make a sale on Facebook Marketplace. The money is held by Facebook. They do not release it to you right away. And eBay does the same thing, and Amazon does the same thing. Because if they release the money to you right away, you could take that money, run away with it, and then never ship the customer their item. And the marketplaces don't want that, because if that happens, they have to refund the buyer through their own bank, and they're losing money on that. They're not going to allow you to scam the customers or themselves. And the way they do that is by temporarily holding your funds. Now, even though they're holding your funds, you are still responsible for shipping the item to the customer. So what you need to do is you go purchase that item with a credit card. So it's on credit now. And then when the money is released to you a couple of weeks later, then you use that money to pay off the credit card and you keep the rest as profit. And that's what you need to do. Now, if you don't have a credit card or you don't have access to one, then you can use a debit card. But obviously, because the debit card pulls the money right out of your bank account, then you need to make sure you have, at least a few $100s in there to be able to cover all of these expenses, all of these purchases until you actually get paid out by the marketplace. Happy holidays, Irene. Thanks for coming. I watch all your videos, but you did not mention that we need to use the exact zip code when we ship the item so we don't get flagged on eBay. That is something we have found to not be an issue because there's no way to do this properly. eBay is kind of been wishy-washy about this. So when you ship out an item, when you list an item, you can put in the listing where the item is located, where it's going to ship from. Now, the problem with that is that we are shipping from any one of many warehouses throughout the United States. So if you're drop shipping item from Walmart onto eBay, if a customer in California buys that item, it's going to ship from a California warehouse. If a customer in New York buys it, it's going to ship out from a New York warehouse. It's the same it's the same item, just different warehouses in different zip codes. So you can't put an accurate zip code on there. And this is a problem because eBay allows this. And we know that because it says on their website that they allow this. They allow you to have multiple warehouses where it won't ship out from, but they don't give you that option to put that in there when you list the item. So it's kind of like this disconnect on eBay. Either way, like I said, it is something that they've specifically said somewhere on the website that it is allowed. But we need more videos covering how to dropship from Amazon to eBay. Well, I have a lot of them in my course. If you go into the course, I have a bunch in there about how to do Amazon to eBay. The cool thing about it is that it can be very automated, but there are some pitfalls with it. You can't use Amazon Prime to dropship Amazon to eBay. But you know what? That's a good idea too. I'm trying to think of some new videos for the next year. I like that one. So I'm going to screenshot your recommendation, Omar, and I'll make a video Amazon to eBay dropshipping. Why not? It sounds like a good one. I made it. Happy holidays. Is Profit Scraper better than Zeek for Amazon to eBay dropshipping? I have admittedly not used Profit Scraper in a long time. I'm trying to remember if I've ever actually used them or if I just watched videos about it. But what I can say is that Zeek Analytics was one of the first product research softwares for eBay. They've innovated a lot, and they're one of the best softwares out there. They work really well. It does exactly what it's supposed to do, which is gather information about the most popular items on eBay for dropshipping. And the other thing I love about Zeek Analytics is that they really support this community. They're always making videos about how to dropship and do product research on YouTube. They're always trying to find ways to help dropshippers. They really care about eBay dropshippers. So I think it's an excellent software. It's my favorite software to use for product research. If you want to use them, my affiliate link for it will be down in the description. And I'd appreciate if you're going to sign up because of my recommendation that you use that link. I feel like those pictures with the white background seem fake. Yeah, I get what you mean. So what Ray's talking about is when you're looking at some items, let me see if I can find an example real quick of this. There are some items that you'll find on like Walmart and stuff that they remove the background. And they remove the background, just leave like a white background. And they do that so that the item really stands out and that you could see kind of better what it looks like. Here's an example. So here is these chairs, right? Oops, there are the chairs right there. And then here's the white background with it. Now, there's some pros and cons to this I can think of, right? If you're way zoomed out, then it's easy to see the chairs. But when you're like this and you're like way zoomed out, it might be a little bit harder to see the chairs. And I'm thinking of someone shopping on like their phone where the picture is really small. So I could see the benefit of that. But I agree, like it almost kind of looks fake in a way. I mean, it is in a way because it's definitely been altered. And I always think that these really demonstrate how this product is going to be used. If someone's shopping and they see this, they can say like, wow, like my dining room is going to look like that with these chairs. So I would include all of the photos that are available from a supplier every time you list an item. But for the main image, the main one, I prefer these ones. I have a lot of luck selling items while having like these as my main image, as the first one that people see. Cyberplayer says, happy almost New Year, Paul. Do you mind briefly talking about your lawyer job that you had before you discovered dropshipping? Wow, blast from the past. Thanks for the reminder. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, so I used to be a lawyer. It was a short time, just a few years, mainly because I just never really found my footing in it. You know, I went to college. I took a year off after college because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. Went to law school. And I actually really liked law school. I did really well there. I thrived. I liked academia, I guess you could say, and all the studying, as crazy as that sounds. But once I left law school, I didn't know what to do. I tried different areas of law. First, I was in personal injury. I was actually working for the government doing defense for personal injury. So in other words, if you got hit by a city-owned bus, you would sue the city, right? I was working for the city in that case, defending those cases, things like that. Then I worked in family law and like the family courts for a while, again, working for the government. And I never really found what worked for me. I looked at some private firms and I didn't feel comfortable in that atmosphere. It just didn't feel right to me. So I always kind of stayed working for the government in different capacities. And I thought I liked litigation, so that's where I was kind of in, but I never really found like truly my calling there, which was really frustrating because I had loved law school and just put so much time and energy into it. But then I started looking somewhere else. I was like, if I'm not loving this, and this was supposed to be my passion, maybe I just don't like to work or work for someone else, right? Maybe I just want that freedom that came with being a student where, yeah, you're answering to someone, but there's also a lot of freedom as a student that you kind of lose when you start working a 9-to-5 job, like vacations and things like that, or, holidays, like summer break and things like that. So I started looking like, how can I get that freedom? And that's when I found entrepreneurship, different ways to make money online, tried a bunch, but it was ultimately dropshipping that worked. And I continued to be a lawyer while I was building up my dropshipping stores, trying to figure it out. I wasn't going to do something kind of radical, like just stop being a lawyer in hopes that dropshipping would do well. I made sure that I was being successful with it first before I kind of jumped ship with it. But it's definitely been worth it. I'm much happier now, and I'm just happier because of the freedom. Because if I was a lawyer still, I would be stuck in New York. That's where I was licensed, where I am licensed to practice law. And when you're licensed in one state, it doesn't mean you're licensed in every state, which means that if you're a lawyer, you're pretty much stuck in one state unless you take the bar exam in another state. There's some other ways to do it as well, but you're pretty much stuck in one state. So I would have been stuck in New York, and that's a shame because I moved down to Florida for a year and I loved living there for a year. I moved into a van and traveled full time for 2 years. Now I live in Colorado, which is a state I never would have imagined living in, but I love it. And just the freedom that I've had to be able to do that, to live life on my terms, is something that having my own business has allowed me to do. And it was something I never would have been able to do as a lawyer back in New York. Okay, yeah. So you guys aren't getting LLC. You need to get registered to get tax exemption. Yeah, for sure. Tax exempt. Yep, you need to get you need to register for what's it called? Sales tax. You need to register for sales tax. So you're in Pennsylvania. So let me show you what I normally do. Pennsylvania sales tax exempt. So I'm literally just Googling. Well, I'm actually not on Google. Let me go over to Google. Pennsylvania sales tax exempt. So I've literally just Googled Pennsylvania sales tax exempt. And a lot of times you can just come on the website for the state. So in this case, Pennsylvania, and get some information on how to do it. You can also look at TaxJar. That will kind of do it for you as well. But this might tell you how to do it. Maybe it's on the side here. Online retailers. Yeah. I'm about to poke around in here a bit. I don't want to waste too much time doing it. But a lot of times you can just kind of come on here and see exactly how to do it, how to become sales tax exempt. Usually it requires you to get a sales tax permit. So you might want to search for like sales tax permit, Pennsylvania. And that's kind of like the first step that you have to take. What about arbitration for auto ordering? Is it better than AutoDS? So ArborShip is another service, a different service that you can use to auto order like AutoDS does. I have not used it. The reason I like AutoDS is because I'm already using it. I'm already using it to list items onto eBay, to do repricing and restocking. So it's built in, so it's just easier to use for auto ordering. So I kind of like when there's all-in-one systems like that. How do you sell lower priced items? I'm not 100% sure what you mean by that. You just sell them. I mean, I'm looking outside a DHL truck. I have a vendetta with DHL. They always, there's a couple of carriers that always have problems. I always have problems with. DHL is kind of iffy when it comes to deliveries. And then the other one is LaserShip. Anytime an item that I drop ship is shipped through LaserShip, which you get sometimes with Home Depot, it's like, I swear like 50% of the time, there's something wrong with the order and the item doesn't get delivered. It's like such a freaking nightmare. And there's a funny video, or an interesting video, I should say, online where someone ships an item with DHL and they put an air tag in it to track where it is. And it's just kind of really interesting to see the results of that experiment where they're kind of like lying where the item is and everything. So lower priced items, whenever you're looking at items to sell, it's the product research is the same. You're going to see what items are already popular and doing well, and you're going to sell those same items, whether those are high priced or low priced, generally speaking, if that's what you're looking at. Now, as a new seller, I would stay away from really high priced items. Lower priced are going to sell faster. They're easier to sell. And you want that as a beginner, because as you sell more items, and again, you're going to sell more by selling cheaper items. So as you sell more items, you'll be able to raise your limits. You'll be able to get more trust from the marketplace, and they're going to send you more sales as well. So it's a really good idea to stick to lower price items at first, just to get that ball rolling and to get everything going so they actually send you more orders and higher limits. But the process, I mean, you just listed, I'm not really sure exactly what you're looking at or what you're asking about it, but that's kind of my advice about lower priced items. All right, I think I skipped a bunch of questions from Haley, so let me see if I could get back to that. All right. Haley says, how long can I use a personal account on eBay? Can I go without getting an LLC, or eventually do I have to? You do not have to get an LLC ever. You can always sell on eBay as an individual. There's nothing against the rules about that. However, there are benefits to getting an LLC. There are some potential protections, like liability protections. And as well, there's also potentially some tax advantages as well, but that depends on your circumstances. But the short answer is you technically could always sell it as an individual. How long should the course take to finish? So with eBay dropshipping, with either of my courses, really, you can finish the course in a weekend. I've had people really finish the course in a day if you kind of binge watch the whole thing. Now, I don't really recommend you do that, because if you're doing that, then you're probably not actually taking action on it. I'd rather you watch the course as you build your eBay store, because I show you in the course, hey, as you're setting up your eBay store, enter in this information here, click here, click here, click here. You just follow along with me. Like I set up an eBay store live for you, I screen record it, and you just follow along with me as you set up your store so you don't miss out anything to do. That's the way I recommend that you do it. And then we'll go into how to actually find products and list them and set up the software and all of that. So it's the same kind of follow along with me method. So I see people taking the whole course and finishing it in a weekend if you really kind of dedicate to it. But most people take a couple of weeks to kind of get through all of it and to make sure they're doing it right. Do you ever lose money drop shipping? What about refunding? So with refunds, they're pretty simple for drop shipping because all that happens is the buyer wants to return the item. You just go to your supplier and say, hey, I want to return this. The supplier will send you a prepaid return label that you can then send to the buyer. The buyer will ship the item back to the supplier. Supplier will refund you. You refund the customer. So simple. Hey, what is up? And that's where you can enroll. Just go to dropshippingtitans.com. We need eBay dropshipping resources. That's what this channel is all about. I mean, this channel is full of eBay dropshipping resources. My course, Dropshipping Titans, is all about eBay dropshipping as well. Hey, what's up, Mike? Tips to increase sales and which suppliers do you use? Well, there's two types of suppliers that I use, retail and wholesale suppliers. Wholesale suppliers are like higher up in the chain of production. So you have to actually probably, you really should have an LLC to do that. They don't generally like to work with individuals. So you set up a business, you get connections with these suppliers, they agree to drop ship for you. Usually it's cheaper than buying from like a retail store, but it's a little bit harder to do that. So that's the wholesale side. The retail side is when we're buying items from like Walmart, Home Depot, Amazon.com. And those are the primary kind of suppliers that I use when on the retail side, Walmart, Amazon, and Home Depot for both eBay and Facebook Marketplace. Tips for increasing sales. You really have to learn product research. That's the most important thing. Like that is the fundamental thing. If you don't have product research down, then you are not going to be successful at drop shipping. You're not going to make sales as a drop shipper. So you need to get good at product research. Without that foundation, nothing else matters. And with that foundation, everything else with your dropshipping business is just going to fall into place. So if there's one place that you need to concentrate, it's on product research. Like that should be your primary focus. Once you kind of set everything up, which again, like in my course, I just show you exactly step by step what to do. Once you kind of get that easy, follow along with me part done, you just need to concentrate on learning and becoming an expert at product research. The box. No, for Facebook Marketplace, there's really no business account that you need. When you're selling on Facebook Marketplace, you are selling as you. You are setting up you're just using your Facebook account and you're logging in to Facebook and you go to Facebook Marketplace and you sell through Facebook Marketplace as your profile. So that's the way you do it with Facebook Marketplace. Which are you seeing the most success with right now? eBay, Facebook Marketplace, or Facebook Shops? Facebook Marketplace right now this season. Facebook Shops is very similar to Facebook Marketplace. You actually are selling on the same place. You're just using a different method to do it. We'll get more into it here about that, but it is Facebook Marketplace, just another way to do it. But for right now, just using straight Facebook Marketplace is working kind of the best right now. Candy and Flake says, my eBay store is charging me for shipping for Walmart items over $35. Confused by the wording of your question. eBay isn't going to charge you for shipping unless you use their shipping labels, which you're never going to do as a drop shipper. So I'm not quite sure of your question. Do you mean they're charging your customers $9? Because if that's the case, you can just go into that policy and just turn that off, because you shouldn't be charging shipping generally. Free shipping is how you should be have everything set up on eBay. That's kind of the expectation on eBay, is to have free shipping. Tom says, wait, you can't use Amazon Prime to dropship on eBay? Why not? I'm doing that all the time. Hope I'm not at risk. Well, you're at risk of Amazon shutting down your Prime account. So Amazon used to let us dropship from them using Amazon Prime. We did it for a long time with no issues, but they, in recent years, cracked down on that, decided they didn't want that. So you can still dropship from Amazon, but not using Amazon Prime. You have to use regular Amazon. So just keep that in mind. There's a chance they could eventually shut down that Prime account and just force you to use regular Amazon. What is the most important for beginners? Again, that's product research for all the reasons I mentioned before. MMA Hub says, what marketplaces can AutoDS work with? I know they can automate eBay dropshipping. I believe they can also do Facebook. Any other marketplaces that you know? Yeah, they do Shopify, which is not a marketplace. And I thought they were looking at doing, let me see before I misspeak. AutoDS, I mean, you can just see it on their website. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So their website says eBay dropshipping, which we knew, Facebook, which we knew, Shopify, which we knew, Wix, and WooCommerce. That's what they have on their website. I would not be surprised if they're going to add more of those. Here they are. But that's what they got for now. They're always kind of innovating. They're always adding new suppliers that they dropship from. They're been adding new, I think they added a bunch, I think like Wix and WooCommerce and Shopify, they added in the past like year or so. So they're always innovating and adding new stuff, which is really cool. Oh, here we go. Greetings, Paul. The AutoDS software don't allow me to import my items onto Marketplace, man. Do you mean Facebook Marketplace? For Facebook Marketplace, what we do is, what I tell people to do is we add the item to AutoDS, and then we use the Dropshipping Titans Marketplace Helper, which is a Chrome extension, to then grab all the details from AutoDS and list the item on Facebook with just one click. So the link for that Chrome extension is in the description. That is my Chrome extension, just full disclosure there. So me and my team developed it. Well, they developed it. I told them what to do or what I wanted. I don't know anything about coding, to be fully honest about that. That's all them. But I had the vision for it, I guess you could say. So full disclosure about that. But it's a great little Chrome extension because it fills this major kind of hole where if you want to list items on the Facebook Marketplace, there was no easy way to do it before this extension existed. So you can use that for that. How many hours do you put into work a week? That really depends. I talked about this a bit in the beginning of the video, but it really depends. There were times this year where I was not working much every day. I was kind of more focused on life. I had things, kind of systems running, everything great. So it's just, less than a half a day of work a day, sometimes even less than that. But then when I started doing Amazon FBA and started making improvements to the course again, kind of moving into a new season, moving into Q4, definitely got a lot more busy. And there's sometimes I work more per week than I used to work every week at my 9-to-5 job. There have been times in doing this when I've worked like 80 hours a week. So, but the cool thing is that it's not always like that. And there have definitely been times I haven't worked that much this year. Sweet. I'm late, but don't forget to drop a like. Appreciate the reminder, Kyle. Any awesome Chrome extensions for dropshipping that you found recently? Yeah, so there's a couple. Again, the Dropshipping Titans Marketplace Helper for dropshipping onto Facebook. Or if you want to do eBay fully manual, it's great for that as well. You can do that. The other great one is CNET Shopping. CNET Shopping is a Chrome extension that will pop up when you are on different websites like Walmart, Amazon, Home Depot, and will tell you, hey, this item that you're about to buy for $50, it's available for $40 on another website. So you can save $10 using that. And we primarily only use that when we are fulfilling orders. So if you have an order come in on Facebook and we go to fulfill it on Walmart, and then the Chrome extension pops up and says, hey, you can save $10 by actually buying it on Amazon. So we'll go ahead and buy it on Amazon instead. So that's kind of a neat little way to save money that is kind of unexpected. It's really fun. Can you explain your private group for students? Yeah, so as soon as you join either of my courses, the eBay or Facebook course, you'll instantly get access to a private forum. It's actually on my own website. It's not a Facebook group. It's not a Reddit or a Discord, I should say, or like Slack or something like that. It's on my own website. It's a privately hosted forum. You go in there and you can ask questions to other students. You can go back and read past questions and answers to them. I found it's a lot better than a Facebook group because the Facebook groups tend to get kind of unorganized. A lot of times people somehow get into those groups that aren't students. I don't understand how that's happened, but it's happened many times, and they'll spam the groups. And ever since we switched this new system, that spam has gone away. So it's a lot better of an experience. But yeah, that's what it's for. Have you ever tried setting your Facebook Marketplace orders as available for shipping and pickup just to bring in more clicks? No, I wouldn't do that. When I list the items, I just say they're available for shipping only, because that's the expectation. That's the truth. If they click on it thinking they can pick it up, then they're just going to be disappointed when they can't. So we only make it available for shipping, so we have the right expectation behind it. How do you recommend finding wholesale suppliers? I have a few websites. I have lists of them. I would avoid those lists for the most part. They're usually saturated. Sometimes you have to pay for the lists and you don't even know what you're getting. A lot of times the lists are just kind of like, the whole point of the list is for them to make money by selling you the list. And so it's like not something that I've ever seen any real value in any of those. Best thing to do is just to find different conferences. That's not the right word I'm looking for. Trade shows. Look at different trade shows. Let's say you want to sell in pet supplies. Look at pet supply trade shows. See what vendors have been there, and you can start reaching out to those vendors. You don't even have to go to the trade shows. You can just reach out directly to the vendor. So that's a little hack of ways to find good vendors that might be able to drop ship for you. All right, so that is the full hour. Thanks everyone for hanging out, for all the great questions. I know we didn't get to all of them. Apologize for that, but make sure to come next week to the next live Q&A. We'll talk about New Year's resolutions, and you can ask any other questions that you have. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. One of my resolutions next year will definitely be to hit 100,000 subscribers. We're pretty dang close. So tell all your friends to subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.